Da 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 da. That's right. It's magical fun time with Dr. Ergo Phizmiz and Depressival.
Hello.
And we're here to speak words to you today in a sort of semi-meltdown state.
It's okay, I feel better now.
Yeah, but it's okay. I feel better now. I do assure you, dear listeners. And we are here, like the BBC of old, to inform, educate, and entertain. Although I'm not sure in which order. Now, I have already sang today that song by S Club 7, which is called Don't Stop. Not to be confused with the other one that starts with the word don't stop. Don't stop, never give up. So not to confuse those. Just so we're clear. Yeah, so I've already sang that today. So whether I'm going to be doing any singing in this show is another matter entirely. You may be able to hear in the background there the sound of some little guinea pigs. And let me reveal to you, listeners, dear listeners, that these are even littler than the usual guinea pigs, because there are, in fact, two little bebes here. Little baby guinea pigs. And I tell you what, they are lovely. If you want to come round and see them, well, you know, give us a call, give us an email, send us a telegram, or whatever. Because there won't be little babies for long. This is always the problem with little babies. Is it a problem? I don't think it's a problem. I think it's cool to grow up. I like it. You know, I like that. Like my kids are growing up. It's really cool. Or growing up. It's exciting watching learning and the passage of time and development, and it's exciting watching life go by in different species now, isn't it? And we have generations of guinea pigs here. The little one is very, very much hopping about and popcorning, as they call it, and now he's sniffing a cardboard box. The other little tiny one I cannot see because he is hiding behind some cardboard. There is a big old one who's 6 going on 7, and a young'un who is like probably just post-teens. He's a young father now. He's dealing with the perils of sudden, unexpected, abrupt young fatherhood. Before that, well, I don't know how to say this, but he was wayward, I tell you.
He was a wayward child.
He was a wayward child, and oh my gosh, he was trouble. It was getting on the verge of calling the police to get them to have a word with him, because he was generally attacking everyone.
Me a lot.
And Lottie a lot.
There was a lot of blood. Not
me, because I was too scared of him to handle him in general, or because, well, not to say scared of him, but just
he's quite scary.
I am the kind of person who in life goes out of my way to not get bit. And I can tell you, I haven't been bit many times. Not many animals,
so many times,
or people have bit me. I have bit people.
I've been bitten quite a lot.
Yeah.
By lots of people.
Well,
animals. They're still people.
Well, yeah, but I bite you, don't I? And
yeah.
You go, ow!
I got bitten by, I think I got bitten by a sheep once.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, quite a few times.
I bit my daughter's new age uncle at a wedding reception.
It was full of love.
It was full of love. I might have told this story before on the radio, but I get confused because my daughter Autumn does ask me to repeat this story when she has friends round, that I bit her new age uncle hard on the arm and then ran away through the luxury hotel, and whilst then somebody else for some reason ended up in hot pursuit of me. I think hotel staff, when they saw me running, must have thought I was up to no good. But I got sort of waylaid by this bookshelf where they have all these books which, these books which they're beautiful old books that they have just for display that no one's ever going to look at. And there were 2 books about with diagrams, etc., from like the 1950s about building televisions and radios, and I was like, whoa, I'm having them. So I swiped them too, and then I ended up in this office, and then because I was sort of in a state of running already, I got into this office and then went, because I expected to be running into another corridor. And then this person came out of the door in that office, and then I just ran. So they presumed that I was like stealing something from their office. So they ran after me too. So I had to run really, really, really fast through this hotel and do like... I think I ended up running down... I found... like the stairs, and I ran down this staircase that went down to outside, and that's how I did do that, because I just remembered getting out into the cool air and looking at those lovely books, and I made loads of stuff with those books. I had a release on Discrepant called 2 Quartets in like 20, I don't know what year, a long time ago, and the lovely collage on the front of that was made from those stolen books. So it's a happy ending, and the moral of the story is sometimes it's okay to steal and sometimes it's okay to bite. Now, tell that to your parents, kids.
Did you go back into the wedding?
I went back into the wedding. I was trying to not be in the wedding, of course, as much as possible, because I hate people. And so but I think maybe at the time I didn't smoke.
Oh.
So I didn't have the excuse to go outside and smoke, but I did get the excuse of a toothache, because it was the same wedding where the groom did the speech from Full Metal Jacket, replacing the word rifle with wife, and my tooth fell off during the speech. So I had terrible toothache for the rest of it. And thinking about it, my tooth came off after I'd bitten this guy, because I wouldn't bite someone after my tooth has come off. So did I bite that man so hard that it broke my tooth?
I thought you said it broke while he was doing the rifle speech.
It did break while he was doing the rifle speech, but I'm wondering if I kind of like set the wheels in motion when I bit him, when I bit the guy, the uncle. It's not the I didn't bite the groom. I bit the uncle of the groom. Yes, I'm being told not to talk about this. Why?
Well, you're gonna have to edit that out now.
Why? No. This is good. This is good. Why shouldn't I talk about biting the man? I can tell you, he deserved it. He did. And I know that if my daughter Autumn is tuned in, she'll be finding this extremely funny. And even if you hear it, you know you deserve that bite. You know you deserve that bite. This is the guy, this was the first guy who ever told me that you don't have to make any effort with anything in life. You just have to ask the universe, and it will be given.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I did make a film which involved me shouting into the sky, please, for the love of God, please, somebody abduct me, and it might not happen, didn't it?
It did happen.
So, yeah.
So we ought to talk while we're here.
Also, yeah, if you stare into the void void stares back, because you can see all of the heat emissions coming off of the planet, and everybody else is open-mouthed and doesn't really understand what you're doing.
Yeah, if you stare into a void, it's best to avoid.
Oh, avoid.
Avoid. It's best to avoid.
I prefer the void.
The void.
I found a job, a void supervisor position,
but
I still haven't.
Yeah, you did.
I mean,
But is there only one void then? Is there just a singular void?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I know that's not true because I've seen Stuart Semple's art. Oh dear, dear, dear. Always saying these terrible, naughty things. But I have to do this kind of thing because it's fun and it doesn't do any harm. And there should be artist feuds like in the good old
I was saying
days.
Last time.
Yeah,
Like,
don't we miss Blur
start,
versus Oasis?
Other,
yes, further to Eamon Hamill from Strategic Tape Reserves.
Everyone, doesn't he?
Stuart Semple goes picking fights left, right and centre.
Yeah, but they're kind of really, I don't know, they're kind of a bit rubbish, really.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's not a good warrior.
I want
That's the problem.
sort of conceptual infighting with, like, all these people can afford to get sort of bronze casting done. They should, like, bronze cast some violence and leave it outside each other's house.
Oh, imagine that. That's a brilliant idea.
I don't know how you do
Bronze
that.
casting violence.
Yeah. Someone will be able to do it. Some artist.
I've never cast a thing.
Look, there's loads of jobs for. I'm gonna try and find a job.
Void supervisor. Supervising the void.
Multi-trade operative voids.
Voids. This is me, Stuart Semple, here on Soundart Radio, and we are talking about the void. We've talked about the void.
Shall I apply for this job?
Oh, yeah. To repair voids.
It's in Sutton.
But that would imply...
I don't live in Sutton.
What you're looking at is voids plural, so it is if you stare into a void.
Can it be remote void?
Because there's clearly multiple voids, isn't there? I mean, I'm trying to think of other voids that I personally have stared into. Does a deep well count as a void?
Yeah,
it does.
So I'm trying to see if there's any remote void supervisor jobs.
While true remote void supervisor jobs are rare, hybrid roles exist where some duties like admin and scheduling can be done from home with other responsibilities. Void supervisor jobs in London, void manager.
I could supervise the hell out of a void.
I could probably
Which may be a
supervise
void.
multiple voids, really, because, well, the whole idea of a void is there's nothing in it, so there's not a lot to supervise, is there? Yeah, I mean, if there's nothing to supervise, why do it? I suppose, do you know who is a void supervisor? I know someone who's a void... Well, no, I've never met them. But there must be an attendant employed at the Sorrels Museum in Porto in the little hut where Anish Kapoor's void is kept. There will be an attendant.
Yeah, there is.
Especially since the accident which happened there.
There is a void supervisor.
Yeah, an accident happened there.
Looking at a void.
Yeah, because some ne'er-do-well, I wish it was Stuart Semple, but it wasn't. Some ne'er-do-well thought that he would prove that Anish Kapoor's big circle full of, like, Vantablack, so, like, big hole, he wanted to prove that it was a patch of paint on the ground and not in fact a void, at which point the man fell into the void. And the interesting thing that I thought most interesting about this man who wanted to prove that Anish Kapoor's void was actually just a circle on the floor is that he obviously either he decided to prove this while there was nobody there, or the people with whom he was with decided that that was such a stupid thing to do that they weren't his friends anymore, and they just left him there.
I reckon he was on his own.
Yeah, but clearly at that time, this place at the Serralves Museum in Porto did not have a void supervisor, because the man wouldn't have spent any time in that void at all. So now they will obviously have a void supervisor because, you know, health and safety.
It was an 8-foot hole.
An 8-foot void that the man fell into, which I think is wonderful. I've been there, you know.
I wouldn't mind falling into that void.
I've performed at the Serralves Museum in Porto.
It looks like it would be really nice sitting there, doesn't it?
I've performed at the Serralves Museum in Porto, but when I went there, I had this amazing walk around the gardens, which are astonishing, just beautiful Spanish landscape, endless gardens with mazes and beautiful old water features, and just all geometric and patterned and gorgeous and endless. And in fact, I did get lost in there, and I will have walked past this unassuming little hut, and I didn't know there was a void in there.
They already had a void supervisor in there, it says here.
Really?
Anish Kapoor said, "What can I say? It is a shame."
There was a void supervisor.
I don't understand. Was he waiting for them to turn around?
Maybe. You know, or maybe the point where he fell in, the void supervisor blinked and they just thought he'd disappeared.
So was he unconscious?
I mean, if you've fallen 8 foot, you'd be out cold, wouldn't you? So, I mean, the void supervisor could have been distracted by a sound. You know, someone might have knocked on the door or stepped on a twig outside. He turns his head for 1 minute. Oh, no, you know, in fact, I know precisely what happened. If there was a void supervisor there, then this guy, who was the only person there, he waited until the void supervisor was looking the other way to test out stepping on it. At which point he fell 8 foot with a dense thud. The 8 foot down ain't going to make a lot of sound, so the guy would have turned back and just thought that the man had disappeared. So these are the kind of astonishing transportations and transmutations that can happen in the beautiful gardens of the Serralves Museum Porto, in the beautiful world. I spent a wonderful week in Porto that week. It was at a time when I was performing a lot in Europe. Do you remember? Before the Brexit happened. And
we took our freedom back to not go anywhere else.
Yeah, and I got invited to come and play a crazy pop show back when I was a pop star at the Serralves Museum, and they said to me, "Hey, Ergo, we hope this is okay. It will work out much cheaper for us if we get you a flight on this day and a flight back on that date." And the date was leaving the night after the show, but arriving 9 days before. And they gave me this hotel right by the sea, and I had 2 books with me. I had Italo Calvino's Invisible Cities, and I had Derek Jarman's Modern Nature. And I spent a week before this gig completely on my own. I didn't see anybody. And I just walked around on the beach, on the rocks, and I drank sangria, back when I used to drink alcohol. And I read these books, and I wrote a lot of words. And I was like, goodness gracious, you know, this place is beautiful. I visited this old church that I think was like high up and was astonishingly beautiful. And then we did this festival at the Sorrells Museum with Mary Oka, and who else was there? Oh, those turntable gramophone guys I told you about. Jeroen and the other guy, who at that time used to travel around with 2 gramophones and do post-show parties everywhere. Doesn't that world seem very far away now?
Strange, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the world's changed, huh? Remember how much fun we all used to have? And how much it sucks now? Well, my advice for you about that, my new mantra that I keep saying, kids, go to your local community center and put on a show. It don't have to, have big production values and nothing like that. Just express yourself, kid. Get yourself some second-hand keyboard from a charity shop and plug it into something loud. Put a repetitive beat on it and just shout over it to entertain your friends. And then make a tape and give it to your friend, and then your friend makes a tape and they give it to you, and then, you've all got computers now, so it's easy to make remixes. You can remix your track and remix again. We can create new kinds of music that are infinite. Music don't have to be in some fixed state like a commodity capitalist product. Music is eternal, and it is vital now as a culture that the people, and I would say especially the young people, disregard the military-industrial entertainment complex as irrelevant to them and not serving their interests, either in a commercial or a artistic, or dare we say a spiritual sense. It is time to make new venues. It is time to, I was going to say to put on shows in your living room, but then you end up with that real awful kind of middle-class sofa sounds kind of thing, with lots of white middle-class guys in chinos drinking Prosecco and listening to folk interpretations of Gary Newman songs. I mean, there's a lot of things I'd rather be doing than sitting at one of those events. So don't do those kind of events. The thing is, you just need to what we need is some work that is vital and alive and on fire. And I know there are people out there who inside are on fire, and the system is telling them that they cannot express it. Now, what is the mechanism by which the system is repressing expression? Well, I would say that mechanism is this thing we call production values now, isn't it? Production values is an insidious term which implies that there are fixed ways of making art, that there are fixed ways of telling a story, conveying a narrative, and these actually provide great limitations to somebody who is interested in what a story is and how narrative works, rather than just wanting to regurgitate something for money. And so we need to begin to look at, we need now, especially what we have this whole AI thing, and we need a new human modernism that will take in the entirety of history. And, certainly, computing and all that can still be in there, but it's a tool. It's something that we use when we have to use it and avoid as best we can. Because also, really, the problem with computing now is that it is not... there is the software is too perfect in the way that a programmer who has only known neoliberalism would think is perfect. There's no room for fault or error, and for me that means there ain't no room for discovery. Like in the good old days at the beginning of AI art, when you put your prompts into it, it could come up with some crazy business, man. It could come up with some crazy and unpredictable stuff because the programming was in this sort of formative stage, and it is those flaws in the technology which, you know, enable something interesting to come out. I mean, we can all do a 4/4 house beat, and, you know, the fact that there are millions and millions and millions of pieces of music that, you know, these 4/4 like house tracks that all, you know, are basically the same. It's just very vexing to me. I don't understand why people want to mass produce the same thing. It's never ever been comprehensible to me. And this idea of production values is ultimately what has standardized and homogenized all of the art that exists and is around. And it's time again for the DIY, folks. You know, what's the matter with that? Bring back the DIY. If something has like production values and looks like it was made for Netflix or Amazon Prime or something, well, think that, you know, this is something made by the military-industrial complex. I want to see something made by actual people. I want to see something made by human beings or even human hybrids. I want to see things with heart and soul. I want art that aches and bleeds, you know. And we can do this because this is what we do, you know. You know, is there not an argument to say that great art ultimately is what we as humans do best? I mean, that is. Unless you want to be a bad boy, rewrite the whole history of humanity into, you know, you could say that, you know, if you take the, well, we're going to say this quietly, but is it possible that if you look at the course, we're kind of on to another subject now, but is it possible that if you look at the course of human history and look at the inventions, the art, the literature, the poetry, the movies in the days before cinema was a dead art form, is it not possible that everything that humans have achieved and accomplished has actually been achieved and accomplished by a handful of autistic folk? Could it be that way? Now, this is a very curious thought, and it becomes an even more curious thought in the context of the UFO, UAP narrative, when people are discussing the inevitable ontological shock, which will come with full disclosure and full realization by humanity of the reality of UFOs, which is that if, as seems to be suggested by the research of contemporary geneticists like Dr. Max Rempel, that the autistic folk are actually hybridized with an intelligence which is external to human intelligence, inserted from some other source.
I might not be able to,
you know, no, but if the autistic people are from another source other than the human genome, then the true ontological shock of this is not that the majority of human achievement and accomplishment has been actually accomplished by a handful of autistic people, but that the majority of human achievement and accomplishments have been achieved by a bunch of folk who ain't really from this planet at all. Now don't that put the humans in their place? So, if you begin to look at history in this way, begins to tell an entirely different story, doesn't it? And it's, I'm going to go out of that voice now. I've been doing that voice for a long time. It's very difficult. Yeah, so isn't that interesting? Doesn't that tell a different story? So, all of you kids out there who feel like, you know, that you might be an alien-human hybrid, and that you feel completely different to the humans, it's because you are completely different. And science is going to show this very soon. And this goes back to what I was saying about making a new culture. It's that when you look at the television or, you know, the people who are famous, I don't see a lot of super intelligent people. I don't see a lot of, like, mega autistic, savantish celebrities. And at every other point in history, all of the famous people have been basically savants, all of the high achievers. You know, how can we say that Leonardo or Michelangelo or Mozart were not savants? And so the savants in this iteration of society, who are the shiny ones and the brilliant ones. Sorry to say it, but it's true. The savants have been well, for example, anyone. I think almost everyone in this country who is the parent of an autistic child now is aware that pretty much all autistic children are falling through the school system, which literally means I'm sorry to say this, but autistic people use at least 40% more of their brains. So what is literally happening is the most intelligent children are falling through the education system. 70% of homeless people in this country are autistic people. So clearly, all of the clever people are being pushed to the side while boring people make entertainment. And they do. I'm sorry, but, you know, occasionally I look at popular culture. I don't look at it very often. But, you know, occasionally I see, you know, adverts and bits of television shows, and the level of vacuousness and just unimaginativeness, which is the thing that people want. People want a repeated thing. People want something that is familiar and recognisable. And to me, this idea is alien. I want to be surprised. I want to be ravished by beauty. I want to be eaten by stars. You know, I want a lion to suddenly appear in the room. I want the words of Nabokov's ardor to eat me whilst I sleep. I want to be the eyes of the evil cat over there. So I am angry. We can do much better. Just ignore the entertainment system and start making and presenting and producing art, music, noise, poetry that is not for them. That's not for the television. That's not for Spotify. That's not for Audible. That's not even for YouTube. Do things in rooms. Do things for your friends. Do things to terrify your aunties and uncles. Do things to annoy your parents. Do things to stir things up in ways that are exciting. Do things to try and bend reality. Do things to try and make this humdrum society that you have built here a little less tedious. For goodness sake, you can have so much fun. There are so many ways you can have fun. Have you tried frolicking? Have they tried frolicking?
I don't think
When was the last time you frolicked? You frolicked quite a lot.
I can't remember. I went for a while. It's too cold.
I don't know about that. I think I may have seen you frolicking within the last week.
There was probably more running away from the cold.
But there's been a level of frolicking. We're in the warm room right now. The heating's gone it's a bit skewiff here. So we're in the warm room with the one electric heater. Where we're kind of based in general at the moment. Can you hear the guinea pigs gurgling and burbling over there? I can hear them. I know you can hear them too. If I upped the gain, you'd hear them more. But I'm not going to do that because I'm controlling these frequencies. Now, I'm aware that I've been talking for nearly 40 minutes. So any listeners familiar with this program will know that both Lottie and I are very fond of the song If I Only Knew by Tom Jones, 1994, which is the most hype single ever.
I can't believe I missed it when I was 8.
Yeah, it's astonishing.
It would have been perfect.
Yeah, it's the most hype single ever. I was in my mid-teens when that came out, and I believe I must have heard about it through my sister, because my older sister Naomi, she must have heard it and gone out and bought it, because I think the first instance of, or maybe she just bought it because she thought I think maybe she only bought it because she thought the cover was hilarious, because I think it was like a woman on a car and then Tom Jones in this head to foot red leather outfit, sort of just with this really peculiar posture.
Oh yeah, he does it.
Oh yeah, you're looking at it. Yeah, what is that posture? It's kind of like he's jumping forward. Yeah, oh yeah, and the woman is sort of squatting in front of the car. She's not on the car. And there's a city behind. And I'm obsessed with this song because it's the most hype song ever. And we had forgotten, for various reasons, we'd forgotten that we found out something about this song, If I Only Knew, by Tom Jones, which is that it's actually a cover version by a band. The original was by a band who I think were called Rise Demon Rise. Was that the name of the band? Rise Robot Rise. And it's one of their songs. And somewhere, some alchemy happened, and it was reborn as Tom Jones's ultra hype classic. So here, full disclosure, the original version of If I Only Knew by Tom Jones. Which is not by Tom Jones.
establish on the same old war zone. As I walk alone through the city, making me an opportunity look pretty. New cinema, live action, all the noise of attraction beats up. All the streets and the sellers do mock up. Better than telling them off, don't stock up shots. They don't fight, all that matters is holding it one night. Track me down, those down bloodhounds. And now I wonder, am I gonna dig a hole 10 feet under? Cops down stuff, and he drops me under sea, under sea, under sea, under me, undivided, undecided.
What I could do, make you happy. Make you happy. If I only do what I could do, make you happy. Make you happy.
I bear my soul to the golden traces sent from the fathers of the holy places. Up north where the snow grows colder, I travel onward across the border. I looked up a girl that I once knew frozen, and I found that I was chosen to be the follower of the deity. Make myself scarce when they're gonna play by control my body and soul. All the things go around, surround me. I won't go, I need your zone. I wanna cuddle line behind your backbone. All the chillin' and the killing and the chase me down the old 2 plus a days. And I want to say, I never stay long where I'm not wanted. I feel haunted, I'm disgruntled. I always thought that I trundle a bundle, hump the buck. It's a cheap. Disabled through the microphone and stuff with the suckers and the holders making me out to be a thin soldier older. But I broke the mold, and my story was left untold. Now as the road flies back to its own side, where all that matters is a whole grown bone slide. But shut on the jungle butt, want to see the subtle slow designs of the butt rut. So step up, tell them what I said. I said it's a nightmare. Go, little brother, where you gonna go? Back to the war zone to break down the wall.
If I only do what I could do, make you happy. Make you happy. If I only do what I could do, make you happy. Make you happy. If I only do what I could do, make you happy. If I only do what I could do.
Der Kommissar.
Aber nicht aus der selben Shit. Nichts der Kurs, ich bin schon gewohnt, im TV, da lacht er nicht. Ja, sie war jung, das ist rein und weiß und nichts hat ihren Preis. She said, sugar sweet, you got me rapping to a heat, it's the stand of see it time. She said, baby, you know, I'm with my funky friend. She meint, Jack, komm so in jail. Mein Funkverständnis, da ich weiß so noch nicht überreiß, was hier will. Ist überlegt, weil mir ist nicht spricht, dafür verwendest du nicht noch blau. Best places in the world, they can't explain sie fern. Jubeln aus der Süd, trau dir nicht oh oh. Schau, schau, der Kommissar geht oh oh. Will dich anschauen und du weißt warum. Die Lebensschluss bringt dich um.
Alles klar, Herr Kommissar.
Hey man, you wanna buy some stuff, man? Did you ever rap that thing, Jack? So rap it to the beat. Ich sag jeder so, und das Boden hilft und das ist der Rest der coolen Gang. Sie reiben hin, sie rappen her, das ist kein zu der Band. Dieser Fall ist klar, liebe Herr Kommissar, also wenn Sie hin mein Cousin, den stärksten wie alle Talabers fahren, kenne heute jedes Kind, das Kinderlied, weil der nicht dumm, oh oh. Schau, schau, der Kommissar geht oh oh. Hat die Kräfte und wir sind klein und dumm, dieser Fuß meist und Sturm. Dreh den nicht oh oh. Schau, schau, der Kommissar geht oh oh. Wenn dich anspringt und du weißt warum, sag ihm, dein Leben bringt dich um. Ah, tja, 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 tja. Seems to be quite a lot of time left. Wenn dich anspringt und du weißt warum, sag ihm, dein Leben bringt dich um. Dreh den nicht oh oh. Schau, schau, der Kommissar geht oh oh. Es hat die Kräfte und wir sind klein und dumm. Dieser Fuß mischt und Sturm. Dreh den nicht oh oh. Schau, schau, der Kommissar geht oh oh. Hat die Kräfte und wir sind klein und dumm. Dieser Fuß mischt und Sturm. Dreh den nicht um. Der Kommissar geht Wenn nicht springt und du weißt warum, sag ihm, dein Leben bringt dich um. Now, we are no stranger to controversy here on Soundart Radio, so let me say it loud and clear. German pop music's better than English pop music.
It is.
And Belgian pop
Yeah,
music.
it's much better. French pop music.
Far better, far better.
as well.
Petula Clark singing songs in the 50s in French
But
compared
also,
to
like,
Petula
Bobby
Clark.
LaPont
Oh.
as well, you know.
Oh, I love
Bobby
Babby.
LaPont.
Babby. Yeah,
Great.
yeah. And when they do their disco, it really makes you feel like you're at Centre Parks, which is what
That's the
ultimately...
point of pop music.
Yeah, I want to always feel like I'm at Centre Parks. I want to feel like renting a bike is an option
Yeah.
at all points, you know? Otherwise, who would want to exist in a world where, you know, you didn't feel like you could go on one of those, you know, you could go on some adventurous activity at some point in the afternoon if you find yourself with a
Whatever
little bit
it
of
is,
free
you know,
time.
that thing in the trees, like
Yeah, what is that? I was trying to think
like-
what that thing's called. Where they is it called zip lining?
Yeah, zip lining.
That the humans do zip
Yeah.
lining. Yes,
But I
the
like-
humans go zip. I like zip lining.
It seems alright.
I
like
love
the,
it.
I like the going through
Not
the
really
tree
done it. I've done it in
path
children's play
thing.
parks and things like
Yeah,
that.
when I was a bebe.
But I love the feeling of flying through the air. It's very wonderful, and
But I don't like flying.
yeah.
No.
But also, like, there's this thing that if you're at a children's play park, if you're the adult using it, you look like a moron, man. Like, I have seen guys doing displays of machismo at the children's playground, climbing to the top of the climbing frame and hanging upside down so the women can see them in all of their glorious array of masculinity. And it seems that our culture has confused masculinity with stupidity. Because, you know, hey boys, young boys, I'm going to talk to you now, all you Andrew Tate boys. You know, even though I look like a fey little thing, I'm actually very masculine, aren't I, Lottie?
Oh yeah.
I'm very
I mean, I
masculine.
don't really know what
Very
any of it
masculine.
really means.
I've sired 3
Yeah.
beautiful daughters.
I mean the sort of common sort of like
Didn't-
children and stuff.
Didn't I like fix? I did like a man fix of something not that long ago.
Well, I mean,
I can't remember what it was.
You managed to sort of you're pretty amazing at organising.
Tidying, organising,
And I'm
things like that. If you'd like Ergo Phizmiz, Dr. Ergo Phizmiz, to come to your house and organise your feng shui.
Yeah, and you can also diagnose people with tonality deafness.
Oh, I can definitely do that. I can probably diagnose a few things. We could probably safely diagnose autism, upon meeting other autistic people. Because the clue is that you get on with them and you don't have to jump through loads of hoops of conversation to figure out what's going on.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it is
that kind of
fascinating.
implies it's maybe a culture as opposed to a disorder, doesn't it?
It sort of
maybe
does,
implies
yeah,
that it's
sort of
actually a
does.
particular brain type, doesn't it?
sort of does.
Considering every single autistic person sort of talks about the same patterns of behaviour in society, I would say that maybe that means it's not actually a disorder, and maybe the I don't know, physician healed herself with non-autistics.
So that was me trying...
Implies it's kind of a culture, doesn't it?
It does. That was me trying to sing Der Kommissar by Falco, which is a great song. We first heard it in Bristol, and then we heard it in Rotterdam, and we were still none the wiser to what it was. It's a great song. It's been done in English, French, and the original in German.
Does that mean that it's technically folk art?
Yeah, folk art. It's technically folk art. And I think that's an amazing song that more people should know. It's got real tude, hasn't it? How much tude has it got? Full of tude. What's that sound? It sounds... Oh my God. Here they come.
We're going inside a volcano.
Here we are now,
it's the
inside
centre of the earth.
the centre of a volcano. As you can probably gather, it's very, very hot in here. Oh, there's the flames burning.
And the flames burning in the volcano. Ow, I'm on fire. Ow, that hurts.
It is hot in here, but thankfully my protective clothing and my layer of outrageous male ego is masking me from the heat, and we are down here.
It's getting too hot. Oh look, there's the UFO. That's fine. Oh cool, yeah, cheers. I'll come aboard. Thanks very much. You can insulate us from the heat. Oh, that's great. Yeah, I'd love to see inside your spaceship.
Oh, let's go in.
I'd love to see in your volcano. Oh yeah, great. Oh wow, that's very good. That's a very good sort of like insulator. I'm impressed. So you really can withstand really high temperatures.
Step into the
that's because you've invented a thing that we haven't discovered yet, because like maybe your society's a bit more ahead of us. Oh yeah, well that makes sense. The different societies would be at different intervals in terms of their development. And I see. Okay, that's how you're travelling. Oh yeah, well that was actually theorised in a lot of science fiction, and a lot of people like, I don't know who, I can't remember, but lots and lots of physicists sort of like suggested that maybe that would actually be possible. Oh well, cheers for clearing that up. Yeah, I agree. They all really need to stop setting everything on fire and punching each other in the face and killing absolutely every other species on the planet. I totally agree as well. No, I don't blame you, mate. Like, I wouldn't want to expose myself, if given that as well, and all the guns and that. Oh yeah, I'm agoraphobic too. Oh yeah, no, I totally agree. Right, well, thanks for showing us around the inside of the volcano. I'll be off now to go and drink sort of like half-human coffee. Would you like some coffee? Oh yeah, it's like oat milk. Yeah, that's good. All right. Oh yeah, you do like bread. Oh, me too. Okay, you can have some bread. Okay, cheers, mate. See you later. Nice to meet you again. Oh, that was nice, wasn't it? We're going out on the volcano.
Oh, well, it was hot in there. If you'd like to come into the belly of the volcano with us, the proverbial radiophonic volcano, then December the 6th, Saturday, December the 6th, you can join us right here at Soundart Radio at Higher Close, Dartington, where we will be doing the third of our play workshops in the Listen Play Experiment project for Soundart Radio. We previously made a ghost show, and then we made a show of witchy Oolipus spells. And next week, Saturday, December the 6th, join us. You can sign up on the Soundart Radio website. Join us for Radio Aspic.
Aspic.
Yes, that's it.
We're going to be talking about how best to conjure up the feelings of aspic.
Yep.
Oh, that's broken now.
The cultures around aspic, the world of 1970s cookbooks, the high glamour of spaghetti hoops and peas in a gelatinous casing in the middle of your table.
And the new fact that I've found, which is that aspic is Thatcher's favourite food.
Aspic was Margaret Thatcher's favourite food,
Which
with
is
mushrooms
interesting,
pressed into
because
it.
years ago I wrote a list of ideological signifiers, and I think it was spam, astroturf. There was another one, and then aspic.
Aspic.
So we're going to be conjuring the sounds of aspic.
Yeah, I do have to apologise. That broke as
These
well.
are all broken.
Yeah, man. I do have to apologise to Roger.
It doesn't have a sound.
Lottie's father. I have to apologise to Roger for the repeated use of the word aspic, because Roger did live in a house with Lottie and I when we were saying the word aspic a lot.
That's not working either.
And I do recall one day Roger saying, please stop talking about aspic. So it's going to be Aspic Radio, but we're going to try and make it entertaining for Roger too, because it's going to be informative, it's going to be luxurious, it is going to be like having a bath
in aspic
that is full of spaghetti hoops.
I can't find any of my aspic sound making machines.
We're going to look at
broken.
non-culinary approaches to aspic. We're going to look at aspic as art. We're going to look at suspending...
Aspic as nightmare.
Yeah.
Aspic as ideological signifier.
Yeah, suspending
Aspic
non-food
as-
items in aspic.
Aspic
Suspending your animation or your disbelief in aspic.
Aspic.
So it's going to be Radio Aspic. I hope you're hungry. Sign up. How can you resist? On the Soundart Radio website for Radio Aspic. There isn't actually going to be any real aspic.
Because we haven't got a fridge. I would have made one, a vegan one.
But I'm not so fond of the bones. But I like...
I don't want to suckle on the marrow.
No, but I do like... To be fair,
Lactate.
I like its wibbliness.
Wibbly is good.
We will also be exploring this...
The wibbly man.
Yeah.
Windy man.
Yeah.
Windy man.
But we'll be
man.
exploring this this thing that if you give a brain scan to some jelly, it responds like a human brain for some mysterious reason. And we'll be doing... we'll have a sound effects department
That's quite aspic-y.
for making all your favourite aspic-y sounds, a music department for playing lovely dining music, and a speaking department for all of your favourite words and phrases related to the production and consumption of the finest of delicacies, aspic. On that note, I think we ought to go to some kind of song, a mystery song about jelly. So here we go.
Jim jam jelly, wibbly wobbly woo. Jim jam jelly, wibbly wobbly woo. Wibbly wee, wibbly woo. Wobbling's our favorite thing to do. Jim jam jelly, wibbly wobbly woo. Wobble your body like jelly. You can be wobbly too. We can all wobble like jelly. Wibbly wobbly woo. Wibbly me, wibbly you. Wobbling's our favorite thing to do. Wibble like jelly. Wibbly wobbly woo.
know, Lottie and I have been having the last few days some old-style internet fun by sending messages on his Twitter or X to the sort of far-right...
Well, I mean, he started the alt-right website.
He literally
didn't he?
started the alt-right website, yeah. Jason Reza Giorgiani. And he's just...
I mean, he's supposedly a philosopher, but I'm a little bit... As a person who you know, studied philosophy at uni for quite a few years until Theresa May shut down the department...
I expect him...
I'd say I'm a little bit... I don't really think he's doing philosophy very
But
well.
according to him, he's the only current philosopher.
Well, yeah, yeah.
Jason Giorgiani,
He also...
he's really into free speech, right? But I have to tell you now on the radio, Jason Giorgiani just blocked me, and I'm very happy to say this. This is fun. It's like the old days. But Jason Giorgiani, ultimately, after a few days of me calling him silly names and so on, because these people are fascists. So there's power in satire, and basically, Lottie realised that Jason Giorgiani is space Margaret Thatcher. Because basically what he is proposing is interstellar Thatcherism.
Well, it's not these. It's that he thinks that there is interstellar Thatcherism.
Yeah.
So it's kind of this. It's sort of. I mean. I don't know.
This guy Jason Giorgiani, he's a great new enemy for me. And for Lottie, a great nemesis. This guy is literally space Margaret Thatcher. Look him up. He even looks like Margaret Thatcher.
He hasn't blocked me.
He hasn't blocked you.
No, but I wasn't. Talking about low fruit.
Yeah.
Much, but I did a bit. But my point about it is, it's not just sort of.
But you know what did it? The reason he blocked me wasn't any of the words, it was the image I made him of Margaret Thatcher with his face in deep space. He didn't like that.
No.
And that's what made him block him, because now, Jason Giorgiani, you might be tuned in because we're going to put your name on this postcard.
This guy.
Jason Giorgiani, forever now, you are never, ever, ever not going to be able to see yourself as space Margaret Thatcher, which is what you are.
Right, but as a good space Catholic, I've just got to say, I mean, I think that it's a good idea that we're looking at space and that's the next sort of, we've been through the Romantic era, come out of the woods, destroyed the woods, and all of that sort of fear of the woods is gone. So the fear now is we look up towards space, don't we? And there's fear of aliens for some reason. I don't know why you're not more afraid of humans, but whatever. Yeah. So I think it's a good idea for people to be thinking about this stuff, because sooner or later we're gonna probably have a conversation with. They've found traces of life on Mars, so we should be thinking about this stuff. But I don't think we should be trying to sort of project human kind of. I mean, this guy bangs on about teleology.
He loves saying that, and the other one, epistemology.
He seems to think that sort of it's teleologically inevitable that every single person in the universe will be like
into Margaret Thatcher,
into neoliberalism, which I think is kind of an unhealthy attitude, and I think that we should. I don't know what's happened to this speculative science fiction thing that we had in the 70s, where people like Asimov imagined new worlds.
Yeah.
This seems to be mostly imagining new worlds, but they all run according to sort of corporate fascistic principles.
Yeah,
which I think
the universe is a big office complex.
This guy is talking about the infinite void, and he hasn't actually ever had a conversation with anyone from off of this planet. I don't really know I don't understand how he's come to this conclusion about all of the sort of bureaucratic procedures.
Yeah, he also thinks
it's not a healthy mentality.
Giorgiani also thinks we're living in a computer simulation. He's one of these people. And basically, I will just always say the same thing to the people who say we live in a computer simulation, which is that the medieval world believed the universe was clockwork, The reason they believed the universe was clockwork was that was as far as their technology had advanced. And your technological development shapes the way you see things. And the medieval world was utterly barking up the wrong tree in thinking that the universe was a clockwork mechanism in the same way we are barking, well, not we, but some humans like Jason Giorgiani are barking entirely up the wrong tree.
I mean, I think
He's outspoken as a Zionist. He supports the mass genocide of Palestinian people. And he just, he's one of these, guys who goes on the internet and does interviews where he goes, epistemological, phenomenological,
No, he doesn't talk about phenomenology much.
Okay,
Although he does talk about Hegel.
I don't talk about any of that. I don't even know what epistemological means.
I mean, I think that for humans to go through this new sort of space era where we're talking about sort of, I don't know, they want to mine everything, don't know what they're going to be able to do, but whatever, we turn our attention to the infinite void. I think approaching the infinite void and saying that you're going to potentially shoot anything that comes from it is maybe not such a great approach to your society, you know? I think that kind of, even if, we never, I mean, I'm biased because I've seen a 30-foot triangle parked in the sky, and there was a 7/8 foot hooded praying mantis guy in my room, but so I'm biased because I have seen what I've seen. Whether or not you believe me, I really don't care. No one believes me about things like being able to play the piano, or the fact that most of the jobs that I do, no one believes me about any of that either. So
Yeah.
I really, to this point, nobody takes me seriously about anything. So it really doesn't matter. But that's not the point. So, the point
That's
is.
okay, I don't mind being slapped.
I'm sorry.
I like to be slapped.
The point. I was
Slap
trying
me
to-
about.
that I was trying to make. What was the point? I'm biased towards the idea that people off of the planet that aren't human would probably be much more reasonable than humans. My evidence for that is observing all the other species on this planet and observing that they're far more reasonable than humans. So therefore, I can see that humans are the anomaly in terms of reasonableness, and I would think that everybody off planet is probably, there's a similar statistical thing going on there as well. I don't think it's an inevitability that throughout the entire universe, psychopathy and burning all of the burning the.
I think it's possible
the
that
planet
psychopathy
that you
is a
depend
purely
upon
human
for
trait,
life.
as is that, yeah.
I would say that it probably is not a universal. I would say that maybe that's an anomaly, psychopathy, because as you can see from all the other species on this planet, they will manage to not do that. So,
And Jason...
So I don't think it's healthy. I don't think it's a healthy attitude.
Jason Giorgiani is propagating these kind of ideas and calling himself a philosopher, or possibly the only philosopher,
Really
and is
funny.
proposing that
So he's better than Kierkegaard.
Yeah.
Like Kierkegaard, and this is,
and he says Immanuel Kant as Immanuel Kant. And I've got to tell you, Giorgiani, Immanuel can.
Yeah,
He actually can. He
and
could.
he did.
He could and he did.
Whereas you...
And you don't, Giorgiani. I'm greatly vexed by your ideas and greatly entertained. It's wonderful because I like to have people in culture who I like to watch getting angry and upset. And when it's funny, it's basically when pompous people get angry, people with very thin skin and very large egos.
Really?
And goodness gracious, Giorgiani. Giorgiani stated on the internet that he's okay with being, or he's not as offended being called a Nazi as he is being called a traditionalist. And well, Mr. Giorgiani, let me tell you, Thatcherism and
Wow.
the key word there is they're conservatives, which are traditionalists, and you, Giorgiani, even though you don't think you're a traditionalist because you're all space and Prometheus and all this, you're actually
it's pretty sort of Brexit-y.
Yeah, you're a cosmic Brexit.
Space Brexit.
Giorgiani is a cosmic Brexit.
But the thing is, we all know that like fascism is not sustainable. So
Yeah, exactly.
If you're a part of a society that's managed to sustain its life to the point that you can actually do interstellar travel, then you're probably not going to be. You're going to.
Yeah, Giorgiani.
You're not going to be a fascist, are you? Because how do you? One of the I could saying this. I think we were talking about this the other day. I don't know. People just hating each other. It's probably one of the biggest risks to the human
And
race.
Giorgiani
Just
seems to hate a lot of people.
Just sort of like not
He
people not
can
wanting to
justify mass
cooperate and
slaughters.
just thinking about their egos is probably one of the biggest risks to the human species. So I don't know. It just seems a bit weird that we kind of. I guess this kind of stuff reminds me of when you watch an advert for the military and it's all this like cool plane, like sure, and I see a few like usually blokes responding to it like, oh yeah, this recruitment video is getting me interested and other things, but like it's based on bloodshed, so it just it feels the same thing. It's like if you're kind of like that thing that you were saying that Cassavetes says of like not putting violence in your own movies because you don't encounter seeing someone being shot in the face.
Because he wants to reflect reality.
And most people shouldn't be seeing people being shot in the face because that implies that the society that they inhabit is not working. If you are seeing people being shot in the face all the time, then that means that you're within a real problem. So I think that like these ideas of like it's just a little bit concerning that the kind of current sort of like science fiction ideas that represent the point that we're at when there is this conversation about whether or not there are people visiting, the current ones are all based on like trying to extend the military into like the infinite void, which seems crazy. Is that your real sort of utopian vision that you want? Is like, I mean, how do you know? As well, I mean, how could you possibly know about space wars and all that?
Yeah.
Anyway.
And Giorgiani brands himself as Satanist, and he's one of these people who seems to have thought that Anton LaVey was something more than a showman. Anton LaVey was a brilliant, wonderful showman, and a truly weird guy, and I think a brilliant guy. A brilliant organist, he could rock the Wurlitzer like nobody. But he was a showman, there weren't any tenets, really, to Anton LaVey's Satanism. It was a very
1960s
freak out happening. And you see this as like real tenets, because Giorgiani also is speaking out on his Twitter in support of some guy who's related to the UFO narrative who broke off from LaVey's Church of Satan because it was taking it a bit too seriously and set up some very questionable situation. And it all just I'm a bit sort of done in with this world where it suddenly seems to be okay to be far right. I mean,
and even sort of coming up with these kind of far right fictional narratives as well.
Yeah.
Which we all know how kind of. Well, I grew up on the Isle of Wight, next door to David Icke,
and they're doing they're doing like far right interpretation of Greek myth. And saying that is the nature of reality. This is not philosophy, Jason Giorgiani. It's hackery. It's like first year A-level by a kid who's never read any philosophy, got the rough guide maybe, has played a lot of video games and spent a lot of time on their own looking at the internet. I bet you, Giorgiani. Have you got an AI girlfriend?
I bet it's more
Have you know?
Kind of more first year person who's doing an elective module, really, and asks. I mean, I had to go through my entire undergrad with a lot of people asking me, like, if I'd read. Oh, so have you read Soundart?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, yeah. Which bits? He's a good egg.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. Like this. I mean, this like fascism of like. Oh, Nietzsche. And it's sort of like, you know, I haven't read like Nietzsche really in from A to Z, because I have been reading other things. But I'm not gonna. But I know a lot about his, and I've read a lot of other stuff around it and so on. And I am not going to sit and kind of fetishize it, basically, because it's offensive. Like,
Are you epistemologically speaking, Lottie, here?
It's all very sort of fetishistic, and like you can't. I don't know. It's not really a good way of approaching philosophy, is it? Like the kind of what is the actual main tenet of the entire thing is what the oracle said about, and then Socrates went and said, well, the only thing I know is that I don't know everything. I don't know anything.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a
that's a good way of seeing things. That's a good position.
I want my philosophers with shaggy beards, actually, or I want my philosophers to look like Susan Sontag or something.
I want like a cave with sort of like psychosis, like me.
Yeah. Giorgiani looks like a middle manager, right? He sort of takes some middle management chic, and his shirts are all a little too small, and his suits are all a little too small, which may be to do with his diet, maybe, as he's got richer from appealing to young teenage right-wing leaning boys. And like, is there a single female on the planet who thinks Jason Giorgiani has anything good to say? I think he's very much about male over female supremacy as well. Maybe, I'm not sure, but maybe.
Seems to appeal to men, and a lot of
I'm being careful not to say anything libelous, because he did say. No, we're not editing it. Giorgiani did say that he was being terribly defamed by being called a traditionalist by someone. How dare you! Pistols at dawn! I slap you on the face with my handkerchief and my glove!
I don't know, I just think
go out trotting across the moor with his pistol and his wobbly bottom.
I'm just a little bit worried, because like, the fact is, like, we've got really powerful telescopes, you know, we've got the James Webb telescope. The chances are there's a better civilization than our one out there observing this planet with a big powerful telescope. And, you know, you can see all the heat and the border disputes from space. So I suspect that there's probably at least one person observing out there going, oh dear.
And everything you're talking about projecting onto the cosmos is like petty human nonsense. Yes.
Nonsense.
So Jason Giorgiani, you need to do something
different.
different.
What everybody seems to be doing, and like kind of
try making music.
I just find I don't know. I find it deeply shocking that, like, whenever any conversations about the possibility of not being completely alone in the void, which of course we're not. Whenever that comes up, it provokes a lot of fear in people. But it's kind of like, well, aren't you like desperate for it, because otherwise we're all gonna die? So, you know, I mean, what, the alternative is better, is it? What really is going so well? This entire sort of mentality about David Icke and all this other. I mean, is that what it is? Is he trying to become the new David Icke guy?
Well, he wants to be like a guru for incel boys.
Sort of lizardy, kind of pretty questionable ethical undercurrent thing. Is that what it is? Is it kind of like 2025 Ike?
Yeah, Ike 2025.
And like, you know, sort of, where have you got all this proof that like everyone's a lizard? Have you ever met an alien? You ever met anyone from space?
I've met people who are like related to the royal family. They're not lizards. They're nice. I know some nice people who are related to the royal family. They're cool people.
Kind of quite alternative art scenes in this country. Like, actually, I will say that of some of the people I've met, they actually have had more class awareness than a lot of the so-called normal people that I know. So, you know.
Jason Giorgiani, Promethean Man, Space Margaret Thatcher, hatching a plan. Gonna appeal to the incels. Be their guru boy. Jason Joe Johnny is Space Thatcher. Will you be my boy? Will you be my boy?
It's just kind of like, it's a little sort of depressing that like all the kind of, you know, I grew up through the 90s, and for me the idea of like the conspiracy theorist was like, you know, the lone gunman and the X-Files.
Yeah, when did conspiracy
Like, you know,
theorists
they
start
were-
being right wing? I thought that they were
I
all
thought they were
like,
supposed to be like, yeah, the government's trying to do what? And like they like, you know, he used to work, like he had all the cardiacs t-shirts and
Yeah.
stuff. I thought it was this, you know, sort of like punk and like. I can't.
And now they're all like Jason Giorgiani, Promethean man, got his nice suit on the Jesse Michael show. He quite likes the Nazis, thinks they had some good ideas. And Jason Giorgiani,
I think you need to like point out specifically which bit he said about the Nazis.
he said loads of things about the Nazis.
Libelous thing. I
No,
mean,
this is not libelous. I Jason Giorgiani, right? Listen, Jason Giorgiani. I'm
it was the way about saying
autistic.
some of them were futurists.
I'm
really got-
autistic.
I thought it was quite.
So sometimes
Little
I
bit.
can't get the facts right. But he did say, yeah, some of the Nazis were futurists, right? And
Which
I'm
is
a
right.
futurist.
Yeah.
And, right,
that's
okay,
apparently
Jason
better
Giorgiani.
than being
Jason
a
Giorgiani.
Nazi
Guess what? All the
Better than
Nazis
being
were
a
bad. Guess what?
traditionalist.
Jason
I'm very
Giorgiani.
confused now.
No such thing as a good
Very-
Nazi.
no, really.
A good Nazi. Jason Giorgiani. Better get offline. Lay off the mixed grills. And expensive wine. Jason Giorgiani, Promethean man. Jason Giorgiani, Promethean man. Jason Giorgiani, Promethean man. I'm gonna do the best I can now. I'm gonna do the best I can now. Jason Giorgiani, Promethean man, do the best I can.
I think I'm also slightly disturbed about these kind of like these like readings of nature that are quite reminiscent of like the fairly problematic readings of nature.
Yeah, they're quite reminiscent
like I said,
of a certain little mustachioed
Like I said, I'm not
buffoons
I'm
readings
no-
of Nietzsche.
I'm
aren't
in
they?
no means a Nietzsche scholar, although I've got a really nice mnemonic for his name, which is Nietzsche is exhausted. The Zemotic syphilis caught him eventually. I know about him and like about the context and about nihilism in general, and but my main area of interest was existentialism and like Wittgenstein and stuff like that. And now it's other things. And like at one point, I would like to really get to grips with Nietzsche. But I'm fairly sure that he wasn't advocating for what the very problematic reading of Nietzsche seems to suggest he was advocating for, because he really, you can take nihilism as, I mean, people, this is the weird thing, is like nihilism's on the prevent list now for the prevent program, and I'm not entirely sure what the conception of nihilism is that they're talking, because for me, when I was doing undergrad, I was given the impression that nihilism had this kind of like active aspect and this passive aspect. So you could either say, oh, there's no meaning, blah, and then use that to kind of go in on yourself and like depression and that. But then I think the idea that Nietzsche was putting forward was for this kind of like active participant. Now that there is no meaning or anything and there's no boundaries, you can smash through pre-existing boundaries and create your own value system. And he was quite...
Jason Giorgiani.
Was it that he read a lot of... Or did he actually read... There's a lot of crossover with some aspects of some of the Zen stuff, which again I don't really know much about, but you've read quite a lot, but I've read a little bit of it, and I think I get the impression that like when I found nihilism it really helped me, because it was kind of looking at the big sort of nothing and the big kind of like existential fear that you get and everything, and then realising, oh, hang on a minute, I can do what I want. I can create my own value system, and it's a value system, not a kind of thing of running around smashing stuff up. That's not nihilism. That's not a value system. That's an orgiastic thing. Like when people are talking about like nihilism being random violence and stuff like that, that's not a value system. That's an orgiastic state of violence. A real nihilist response would be somebody like John Waters or Divine would be that, of like seizing what
Jason Giorgiani.
living completely authentically, and or I don't know, Mozart, for instance, like Mozart.
Yeah, Mozart, like, Jason Giorgiani.
Sort of, but then as well, like a lot of. I mean, he said that you can't be a philosopher and be religious, but anyway, I think that the nihilism needs to sort of steer more towards kind of, I don't know, who's a good example of someone who's like really goes through it? The writer's room in the recent adaptation of Stephen King's Under the Dome. There you go.
Yeah,
that's
really
a proper
go
sort of like Nietzschean response, you know.
Jason Giorgiani.
Who else? Let me think.
Watch Under the Dome.
The Fall. Like.
You'll really like it, especially by season 2 and 3 when it gets whacked out. What was that other thing you just said?
I said like The Fall. You know, the constantly shifting Fall lineup is a good.
If it's me and your gran, it's The Fall.
Like, you know,
if it's me and your gran, it's The Fall.
I kind of always interpreted nihilism to mean living like completely eccentrically and weird and doing whatever you want.
Yeah, not and Jason Giorgiani. Not Jason Giorgiani.
Going out
being
and doing performance art in the street.
A penis.
Oh, wow.
Jason Giorgiani.
Let's think of some other nihilistic people.
Don't be a penis.
Who would do what I would. I mean, I think this is right, isn't it? I mean, I am female, so I'm gonna just doubt myself here for a second and then double check. Okay, I don't know why I doubted myself at all in that. Sometimes I forget my name because I've been gaslit so much, but you know, there you go. You have to but that's it as well. It's like it's a constant having to strive to live in this particular way because it's a lot of other kind of social.
Jason Giorgiani. Jason Giorgiani, take up watercolors or something else. Jason Giorgiani, take up watercolors, you'll feel better. Take up painting the natural world. Jason Giorgiani, we mean you no harm, we just love you. We mean you no harm, we just love you. Jason Giorgiani.
I mean, you know, you don't have to be afraid.
You don't have to be afraid. Jason Giorgiani. They love you. Our alien overlords love you. They come in peace, and they're gonna put their loving arms around you and cradle you and kiss you, Jason Giorgiani.
It's not a big trick.
No.
Like, the problem is
Have
the
fun,
human
Jason
project has
Giorgiani.
gone to the point where it's pathologically insane, and somebody's got to come down and say, no, you've been a very naughty boy.
Yeah.
Slash, everyone else is mainly men, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
really, like, most,
And they're all going to
most of
get
the wars
smack
and that-
bottoms, and
most
because of some of the
wars,
stuff
really,
you've been proposing.
You've been a naughty boy, really,
Yeah.
isn't it, globally? So maybe
You've
we
been
should-
proposing some dodgy stuff, Jason Giorgiani,
Yeah.
so those
Like-
manted overloads probably going to give you
I will
a
also say, like,
pink
I often
buttocks.
wonder, like, you know, my kind of like vague sort of musings that may be fictional or could be kind of speculative science fiction slash, which is actually realism. I often wonder about the concept of various abduction scenarios where people describe invasive medical procedures and wonder if it's actually a case of a sort of psychic surgery to try to persuade them to stop feasting on the tortured, abducted corpses of other species babies.
And all of my opinions stated here the last half hour, and in everything I've ever said, represent just my opinions and not the opinions of Soundart Radio or even Lottie. You can blame me for my opinions. But I just want to ask one more question about Jason Giorgiani. Since Jason Giorgiani is more upset about being called a traditionalist than being called a Nazi, then I would like to know, before we go to a song especially for Jason Giorgiani,
Especially for you.
I would like to know, that's what we'll play, Jason and Kylie.
Together,
Jason Giorgiani and Kylie
I
Minogue.
wanna show you.
My heart is so true. So Jason Giorgiani, I want to know, if you're like more offended than being called a traditionalist than a Nazi, are you more offended being called a traditionalist or a wobble bottom?
Whippily wobbly woo, Jim Jam Jelly, Whippily wobbly woo.
Especially for you, I wanna let you know what I was going through. All the time we were apart, I thought of you. You were in my heart, my love never changed. I still feel the same.
Especially for you, I wanna tell you I was feeling that way too. And if dreams were wings, you know, I would have flown to you to be where you are.
No matter how far, and now that I'm next to you,
No more dreaming about tomorrow. Forget the loneliness and the sorrow.
I'm gonna say it's all because of you. And now we're back together, together. I wanna show you my heart is so, so true. And all the love I have is especially for you. Especially for you, I wanna tell you you mean all the world to me.
How I'm certain that our love was meant to be. You changed my life.
You showed me the way, and now that I'm next to you,
I've waited long enough to find you. I wanna put all the hurt behind you.
I wanna bring out all the love inside you. Oh, and now we're back together, together. I wanna show you my heart is so, so true. And all the love
it's 10 to 3 in the morning, and because I am feeling so festive, I wanted to sing some lovely Mormon songs for you. This one in particular. It goes like this. While I am in my so I can marry in God's temple for eternity. Families can be together forever through Heavenly Father's plan. I always want to be with my own family, and the Lord will show me how I can. The Lord will show me how I can.
Jesus came from the Middle East, and considering all of like their sort of scale forms and polyrhythms there, I think maybe like the Christian sort of like modern music writing needs to try a little bit harder.
Yeah. What I like with the Christian stuff is like the really emotional bits in Bach, things like that.
Yeah,
kind
I mean,
of
that
Christian. But also with the Christian stuff.
Messiaen, I mean.
With the Christian stuff, I'm quite into the really funny rom pom pom kind of stuff as well.
What?
Like from onward Christian soldiers. Like stuff that would be done with brass bands, yeah.
Oh, my family will Sally Army.
Do you know, Lottie?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who wrote Onward Christian Soldiers? Who wrote that music?
Was it Jesus?
It was not Jesus, but it was someone quite interesting who you might not expect. It was the bloke who wrote music in Gilbert and Sullivan wrote Onward Christian Soldiers. Onward Christian soldiers, marching as to war, with the cross of Jesus going on before. Christ the royal master leads against the foe, onward into battle, see his banners show. Onward Christian soldiers, marching as to war. I was just thinking, it's only a matter of time now until Tommy Robinson's boys need like their song, they need their like anthem to march down the streets with their flags and their wooden crosses and that they've been doing. They could co-opt Onward Christian Soldiers quite.
Oh yeah, they're all saying that they're into Jesus now, aren't they?
They're well into Jesus.
I was reading one.
They love all of their fellow brothers and sisters.
Very interesting. Very strange.
They don't dislike anyone.
There's a lot. I was reading.
They think everybody cool.
Talking about it, and he was saying that it's not necessarily that he believes in God or in Jesus at all, but he thinks that the C of E needs defending from.
Needs defending. C of E needs defending from the invaders.
From when
the infidel.
Maybe they need to again with a lot of.
You people are all insane. You live in this.
It's
well,
a case
not
of
you.
like physician heal thyself,
of course, not
and
you, but the people
have a look
in general.
at some of the problematic behaviours contained within the institution.
Yeah.
Usually.
Yeah, it's all very vexing. Everybody seems to be crazy in one way or the other, and quite a lot recently we. You know, and I'm sure you, dear listener, who, you know, obviously many people are having a similar experience to what we are having. But it's very confusing when you speak to people who you think are like cool and sane, and then they start to talk about the craziest stuff that is just, I mean, I know I say this as somebody who talks about being a long-term UFO experiencer and possibly alien-human hybrid, but this stuff is founded in experience and science, and I don't just go on about that, do I? I go on about loads of stuff. But when people start to tell me that space doesn't exist, well,
that's the thing. I probably wouldn't be talking about the UFO stuff if I hadn't seen all the stuff I've seen.
Yeah.
So, and it's more a case of like actually admitting it after sort of all the kind of the recent disclosure stuff. It's kind of like a relief, if you know what I mean. So it feels like I've had to lie about all this stuff that I've seen for years and years and years because people are just going to call me insane and scream in my face.
Yeah,
and now that I can actually just admit it, it's a lot easier. And like I feel like that maybe pertains to there's obviously something which has caused that particular reaction in me. Like, so.
And if you
I'd say
are,
that implies some
and if there is this whole faction of society which are so alienated, then like you say, Lottie, if that, you know, even if it isn't true, then it's surely a problem that there is a whole faction of this society that feel so different.
Ostracized.
And so ostracized that they
Forced
in fact
out.
feel like aliens too.
Yeah, I mean,
you weird humans.
Well, that's the thing. Is like
Not you, dear listener, because you're a hybrid too, I
suppose. We should probably sort of be celebrating this. I sent off my DNA sample to Dr. Max Rempel to be analysed as part of his work on non-parental genetic insertions. Anyway, regardless of whether or not you think that any of that has any...
Well, you're going to find out more because Dr. Rempel's going to come on this show.
The point is, regardless of whether any of this is true, what happened to speculative science fiction, and this serves as a good...
And speculative science.
And this serves as a good sort of example of just how abhorrent the majority of people's behaviour is, that I've ended up at this point. So, yeah, cheers very much, guys. We'll find out the results in about a month.
Listener. Yeah. Lottie's going to be one of the first proven alien-human hybrids.
And, you know, there's this whole, like, sort of, like, whatever it is, people sort of talking about being from the Pleiades and that. I mean, like, I mean, that's not what I'm approaching this from. I'm approaching this from the perspective of lots of people seem to really, really hate me and, like, object to my existence. So, like, there's a lot of screaming in my face and chasing me historically through over and over and over again, and all the UFOs. So I'm coming from this particular angle of one of being completely and totally ostracized and ultimately trying to figure out why I'm completely unemployable. So, you know, it's not about like being from another part of space, because the other thing with that whole part of the New Age sort of like I'm from the Pleiades thing is it's kind of fetishizing another part of space. And now space is like, you know, this part of space. We're also in space. We're in a spaceship. We're on a big planet. But the idea of like it's better coming from somewhere else shows, I think that the thing there is that it shows an attitude amongst the sort of general society that people think that the Earth is boring and is disposable. So they're saying that another bit of space is better, like when we're actually in space, on a spaceship, basically. Yeah. The Earth is a big spaceship, so I can't remember what the point was of that, but I don't really understand why, you know, that's surely an ideology, isn't it? That the other bit of space would be more exciting, and that, like, this bit of space isn't good enough, and we should continue to just burn all of it.
Yeah.
And
so it isn't 10 to 3 in the morning anymore, but Jason Giorgiani is still Space Margaret Thatcher. Yes, you heard it here first, or possibly on the internet. yesterday and the day before. If you follow Jason Giorgiani on Twitter, which you don't, but if you did,
I don't know.
if you did, you would have seen a few days ago now the lovely images of Jason Giorgiani as Space Margaret Thatcher. And really, I mean, you have to admit, it's not unbecoming on him.
Oh, isn't I think Jordan Peterson was getting into all the alien stuff, wasn't he?
Oh, is he?
Is he like the space Milton Friedman, do you reckon?
No, he's
dunno.
more like Space and Widdicombe. Something like that. Space and Widdicombe. That's Jordan Peterson. We've just been watching Beatles About with hauntings and alien appearances, and what's absolutely amazing and astonishing about it is watching these people experience the ontological shock, the full ontological shock. Their whole version of reality breaks down for 5-10 minutes until Jeremy Beadle appears, and then reality is reconstituted. And it's fascinating, studies of human behaviour in extreme, bizarre situations. And, they're all very loving pranks, aren't they? All of these things that Jeremy Beadle does, they're nice pranks. They're meant with love. And people didn't respond very often badly to Jeremy Beadle's pranks. Usually, eventually they laugh. But it's interesting seeing this ontological shock. And that's the only instance in which I use the phrase on the word ontological. Because that's the only context in which I really understand what it means. And I don't know what epistemological means. And there's loads of logicals I don't know. But at least I'm not an alt-writer, eh? Although I suppose I'm an alternative writer. My writing is very alternative to the mainstream. So Jason Giorgiani can be Mr. Alt-Right, and I can be the alternative writer. And then, who knows? Who knows? Well, we are coming towards the end of the programme, and at a time like this, I think we really all ought to take some time to reflect upon the sound of a door opening and closing. And that is how we do sound effects on the radio. You may have thought that that was the sound of somebody walking into the room, but no, that, my friend, was Foley. And very nice Foley it was too. What did you think of it? Remember, next Saturday, Radio Aspic. Sign up on the Soundart website. Come and join us in a celebration of Aspic and Radio Magic. We'll do all sorts of wonderful things. I think Aspic is funny.
I think it's an abhorrence and a slight against the universe and or God and whatever.
Oh, it's definitely an abhorrence. Oh, yeah.
Seems is and I
But
think
it's an abhorrence
it's awful,
that
isn't
you
it?
must admit. If you picture in your head
I don't want to.
a lovely aspic with what's lovely in aspic?
Enough Nothing.
Ham, ham,
Oh, jeez.
and
Oh no.
ham and baked beans.
I mean, do
in
they
aspic.
do they put like the entire chicken in the aspic?
I've never
or-
seen an entire chicken in
Do
an
they-
aspic.
What are some popular shapes for aspic?
Well, they tend to be kind
Sort
of
of
round.
loaf.
Yeah,
Loaf.
round or loaf
What, a
shaped.
loaf of bread in an aspic. I've never seen that.
No, I've
There's
never seen that.
abstract aspic. I just
But there is
every
some
time I
abstract
feel-
aspic.
I feel
All
this
aspic
rushing
is.
up my throat.
How are you going to do the radio workshop?
Well, I mean, I think that the interesting thing about aspic is
Yeah.
that it's the only food I can really think of. Well, actually, there's a lot of food I can think of, but I wouldn't really say it constitutes food. But all you need to do is describe it, and
Yeah.
then it creates a really visceral.
Well, I don't need to even describe
Violent
it to
reaction
you.
in
I
the
can
observer.
just say.
Unless you're Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah.
Not as in Earth Margaret Thatcher. I don't know what, Jason.
Earth Margaret
I
Thatcher.
don't know what. You know,
Space, not
I don't know
space
why
Margaret Thatcher,
his
but Earth
feelings are
Margaret
on
Thatcher.
aspic.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if he's tried it.
I don't know.
Jason Giorgiani, have you tried aspic
Aspic.
with spaghetti hoops in? Or spaghettios, that's what you'll call them. Have you tried aspic, which do they call that jello? Have you tried, Jason Giorgiani, jello with spaghettios? Huh? Have you? Well, get some of that down you. That'll shift you to the left, dear boy, or wherever we are. I don't know where I am.
I'm more sort of space-time.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not left wing.
Maybe time is redundant now,
I'm
because
space
it doesn't seem
time.
that
Space time, cosmos,
it doesn't
insect
seem
god.
that many people are particularly
Yeah.
left-wing who say they are.
I am
So they're more
with-
sort of centrists, really.
I'm with the ancient gods, and I am nothing but a flea before them. I'm certainly not a Promethean man like Jason Giorgiani.
I mean, I'm just. I mean, I'm not really supposed to be here, basically.
No, me neither. I should be back on my home planet,
I'm good with whatever.
Yeah.
Is my opinion on all of it.
but the thing I
Apart from the
think,
human
like, obviously, I kind of long.
made disaster.
To some degree, I long for my home planet, but in another way, the longer I'm here, the longer I can really irritate people like Space Margaret Thatcher, and all those kind of guys. I'm just a poor little English boy, governor. But I have a fair amount of skills, but I'm really good at irritating pompous people. So I hope, Jace, you've enjoyed this, and are going to take up the watercolours. I'm going to do some painting shortly. I'm painting 2 bebes at the moment.
Bebe.
2 bebes with cheeky expressions, with some industrial dystopia behind them.
Oh, it's a heartwarming scene.
Yeah, and they're having a party, and they've got dioptrama written on their hats using our wonderful new stamp, because we've got a stamp for my wonderful new invention, which is called the dioptrama, from the Greek dioptra, to look through, and diorama, the beautiful word for little ornate, lovely theatre sets. And a dioptrama is basically a composite of multiple magic lantern slides from between 150 and 200 years ago, some possibly older. I don't know the exact dates, but yeah, 150 years for sure. And they come with a little looking glass, so you can journey slowly across these little worlds, and they're beautiful, strange, otherworldly compositions that we are going to sell to people with money
so we can continue to do the various things that we do. Isn't that right, Lottie?
Yeah. And I want to try and help people with
Well, yeah,
money.
that's the idea. We want to be able to
I'd like to
send
start.
more money
I'd like to
towards the people in this world who are really needing it at the moment. You know where those places are? Palestine, Sudan, Congo, all these places where dreadful things are happening because of the culture that
and on
we
the
live
whole
in.
as well, of the whole planet.
And on the whole.
I'd like to start a bird foundation.
Yeah,
as well.
Birdie Foundation. If you'd like to join us in a Birdie Foundation for for having fun and making joyous entertainment for the birds of Devon, and we
just everywhere. The idea
while we're here,
to get
internationale.
because I think
L'oiseau
I'm
internationale.
the right sort of person to do it, because when we were on the Isle of Wight, they reintroduced white-tailed sea eagles, and they were little babies, bears, and they squawked for a year. And it was heartbreaking. One of them was sat on a telegraph pole on the wires, and he couldn't do it. It's very strange to see a big eagle being a baby.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing to see, of it being unsteady. But they didn't have their parents because they're part of a reintroduction project. So we named him Withnail because he'd gone on holiday by mistake to the Isle of Wight from Scotland, and we watched him get bigger, and then I moved to Bristol, and I was in Bristol outside my house one day, and I looked up in the sky and saw a white-tailed sea eagle going over the top, and then thought, I wonder if that's Withnail. And then what do you know, I looked him up on the tracker website, and he'd gone for a little fly. So who else can recognise a specific bird several hundred miles away from the last place that they saw it?
Yeah,
so I'm the right person to run the Bird Foundation.
Yeah, so Jason Giorgiani, if you look up at the sky rather than at your phone and your rough guide to philosophy, you will see there are many wonderful things to behold.
And you will see there are many non-human intelligences on this planet who aren't extending interstellar
Thatcherism, cosmic Brexit,
kind of fascisty principles to their societies.
Yeah.
So if all the other non-human intelligences can avoid burning the entire planet, then I would think that that's the same for other species and other places in space as well. And we can do it, guys. We can stop destroying everything.
Yay!
Yeah! Let's do it. After 3.
1,
3,
2, 3.